Morning, everyone. Meteorologist Bill Rentschler in the 1011 Hour streaming studio. Hope everyone is having a nice Thursday morning. Going to go over your forecast as we head over the next several days. And there's finally kind of a lot to talk about as we're going to see. Again, I should back up, and I'm going to say Sunday is the start of astronomical fall. And as we, again, get into the fall season, again, we see some pretty wild swings in our weather as we kind of have that fight between winter trying to move in, summer trying to hang on, vice versa, again, in the springtime. And we're going to see one of those kind of fights as we head over the next several days. As we'll see temperatures for today and tomorrow, likely in the low 90s. Again, feeling very summer-like. But again, we may not get out of the 50s on Sunday. Seeing some very cool, wet, and potentially breezy conditions. But then as we look ahead to the week next week, it does look like just some cooler, maybe a little bit more settled weather does head our way. But a lot to talk about as we head over the next couple days. But it is Thursday, though, so that does mean we get to start with the latest drought monitor. And again, unfortunately, we continue to see drought conditions expand across the area. This is a look at what we had released at this time last week. And again, things have kind of just gotten progressively a little bit worse over the last several weeks with drought continuing to expand. So again, some areas of moderate to severe drought across the northwestern corner of the state, moderate to severe drought across the far southeastern part of the state, and then a good chunk of the state just under those abnormally dry conditions. So that was last week. This week, we continue to see areas of moderate drought continue to expand, including into the Lincoln metro and covering a good portion of Lancaster County, but again, drought conditions just continue to get a little bit worse across the area. If we look at the change map, again, this is for the state of Nebraska, so those areas in yellow that we see got one class of drought worse. So one category worse. So either from no drought to abnormally dry, from abnormally dry to moderate drought, from moderate drought to severe drought. So again, you can see that area over Lincoln and Lancaster County, and over parts of Cass, Douglas, or Cass and Odo counties, got one category worse. There was one spot there in parts of Holt County up near O'Neill that did get a little bit better, but again, most areas again just continue to get just a little bit worse. So again, that is the latest drought monitor. If you look at the time series over the course of the last year, again, you can continue to see ever since kind of late June, early July, things have kind of been trending in the wrong direction for us. And again, we had one of the wetter Julys on record, but one of the driest Augusts on record. And again, so far through the first almost 2/3 of the month of September, things have been pretty dry across most of the state. Again, going to see some very beneficial moisture as we head through the weekend, so hopefully that can put a little bit of a dent in some of those drought conditions. Certainly not going to wipe the slate clean by any means, but again, it will be very beneficial with some of that moisture heading our way for the weekend. Here's a look at the national map. Again, across parts of the Midwest, we continue to see plenty of areas of abnormally dry to moderate drought. Again, some areas of extreme to even exceptional drought across parts of West Virginia into southeast Ohio. Again, in the high plains from eastern Wyoming, western Nebraska, all the way up through the western Dakotas, eastern Montana. That's an area that's progressively gotten a little bit worse over here over the last few weeks. Also have some areas of extreme and exceptional drought across parts of far west Texas over near El Paso. So again, those are areas that we're keeping an eye on. Again, if you look at the National Drought Monitor status over the course of the last year, again, right now we're at our worst spot that we've been over the course of the past year in terms of just the percentage of areas of drought. Again, it was a little bit worse this time last year in terms of percentage of extreme and exceptional drought. Again, just a very small percentage of the country under any exceptional or even under any extreme drought. But again, about a third of the country under those abnormally dry conditions. Just about 30% of the country under no drought conditions. So that is something, again, we'll keep an eye on. But we did see some improvement if we look at the national change. Some improvement down across Mississippi and Alabama, West Tennessee, parts of Arkansas. And again, that was due to Hurricane Francine that had moved on shore and again dropped a bunch of rain. Again, you can also see some of those areas getting worse across parts of South Carolina. Those could potentially be helped out by the tropical system we had move onshore earlier this week. Again, the cutoff for this data was on Tuesday morning at 10 a.m., so anything that fell after Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. was not included in the drought monitor. All right, so moving on. Again, probably one of the big things that people want to know about is it going to rain during the Husker game on Friday? And actually, looking at it now, it's probably good that the game is on Friday, because if the game was at 7 o'clock on Saturday, I'd say the chance for rain would probably be 60, 70, 80% or so. But because the game is on Friday at 7, I think we're going to get it in. And I think we're going to get it in really with no issues. Rain chances continue to trend a little bit later, a little bit later, a little bit later. So it will be hot, though. It will be warm, again, and especially for tailgaters. Again, afternoon into the early evening, temperatures around 90, cooling back to around 84 is what we're thinking by around kickoff, 7 o'clock Friday. Partly cloudy skies, southeast wind around 10 miles an hour. Shouldn't be too bad by the end of the game. We're thinking low 70s, and by the end of the game, we are going to throw in at least that 20% chance for maybe some isolated showers, isolated thunderstorms, with some increasing cloud cover as well. But I do think we're going to be able to get the game in, at least the way things look right now. I think it'll be warm, but again, should be another nice evening here in Lincoln. Same will not be said as we head into the upcoming weekend. If you have any outdoor plans, maybe if you're trying to head to the pumpkin patch or something like that, Saturday and both Sunday, again, definitely look like they're going to be good chances for rain, and again, much cooler and potentially breezy conditions at times as well. So check out your weather headlines. Again, more hot weather. Again, going to headline the forecast over the short term for both today and for the day tomorrow. But again, rain arriving this weekend, which we just kind of touched on. Sunday looks like it could be a pretty raw day. It looks like most of the state not going to get out of the 50s for the day on Sunday. And again, going to be breezy, and again, going to be wet, with rain eventually coming to an end as we head into Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening. But overall, again, a pretty cloudy, gray, wet, and breezy Sunday is expected across the state. Right now in Lincoln, 10 minutes, just about 10 minutes past top of the hour. Mainly sunny skies, 76 at the studio right now. Looks like one of our weather stations went offline there. South wind at around 8 miles an hour. Dew point is in the upper 60s, so it's a little bit on the muggy side to start our day today. If you look at temperatures across the metro in Lincoln, again, generally sitting in the mid-70s to start the day. Again, keep in mind, normal low temperatures this time of year are about in the mid-50s. So again, another warm start to our day, more above average conditions to start our day. So again, mid-70s right now across the Lincoln metro. Still looking at those temperatures generally in the low to mid-70s across much of the far eastern parts of the state. Anywhere from the low 50s to around 70 for the rest of the state as you head from west to east. Right now, 51 in Alliance, 60 in North Platte, 70 in Grand Island, and again 76 here in the capital city. Dew points are highest right now, kind of out ahead of a little bit of a surface trough that we have across the area, into the mid and upper 60s for the eastern half of the state. But you can see that drier air off to our west. That drier air is going to head our way later this afternoon. In fact, again, you look at the dew point trend, again, where we've been over the course of the last week, where we're going over the course of the next week. Again, we're going to see that dry air arrive probably later this afternoon. So you can see that pretty sharp drop in that yellow line. That's going to be the arrival of the dry air as we head through today, again, into the day tomorrow. But as those rain chances increase, as that next system arrives, those dew points will climb back up. Saturday into Sunday does look like, again, a little bit on the humid side for a lot of us. So, again, here's a look at the winds. And, again, this is where we can see that surface trough. Still have those southerly winds out ahead of that feature. And, again, those winds are generally at around 5 to 10 miles an hour. Back to the west, though, for much of central and western Nebraska, those winds are out of the west and northwest at around 5 to 15 miles an hour. And again, that's pushing in that drier air into the region. So as the winds swing around to the north and west, that will push in the drier air, and we will see those dew points begin to fall. Satellite radar picture, we did see a few scattered showers, isolated thunderstorms very early this morning move across the area. I believe at the Lincoln Airport, we officially got a tenth of an inch of rain from some of those showers that moved through. That was before 6 a.m. this morning, so again, very early this morning. But otherwise, right now, pretty quiet. You look at the visible satellite imagery. Again, you can see mainly clear skies across much of the state. If we zoom out and look at a little bit of a regional view on the visible picture, again, we can see there's that low off to our north spinning across parts of North Dakota. And again, we're going to see that surface trough move through here. And that's going to usher in those drier conditions, more northwesterly winds as we head through the morning hours. So if you look at the regional satellite and radar picture, again, broken line of showers and isolated thunderstorms along the cold front. Stretching from, again, parts of eastern Kansas, a little spotty activity there across parts of north central Iowa, and then into parts of Minnesota as well along that boundary. If you zoom out even further, look at a national view. Overall, right now, things are fairly quiet. Again, no tropical systems right now threatening to make landfall or anything like that. Just some scattered showers, isolated thunderstorms out there. Weather alerts, there's not too many. Again, we do have some wind advisories across parts of the Dakotas into eastern Montana. A couple flood alerts there in eastern Montana as well. They had some heavy rain. Again, continue to have some winter headlines across the mountains in California. Again, some flood watches there in parts of southeastern California as well. But overall, things are fairly quiet across much of the country. Check out Skycast again as we run through the day today. Again, generally looking at dry conditions. As we head into the afternoon and evening, there is a small chance for far eastern, southeastern Nebraska. See a few scattered showers and thunderstorms. Some of those thunderstorms could be on the strong to severe side. Our in-house model, though, keeps a lot of that activity really east of the area, though, so not expecting that to really impact much of the 10-11 coverage area as we head through the day today. Into the day tomorrow, again, 7 a.m. Friday morning, mostly sunny skies to start the day. Through the day, I think, again, some clouds, but generally dry conditions. By 4 o'clock Friday afternoon, again, a lot of folks going to be tailgating. It does look like dry conditions, maybe partly sunny skies for Lincoln and eastern Nebraska. Towards kickoff, 7 o'clock. Again, we can start to see some of that activity that we're going to expect to see eventually in our area begin to develop across parts of southern Kansas. That's the next low-pressure system that's going to lift out of the southern plains. But again, you can see 7 o'clock, really nothing threatening Lincoln or the immediate area when it comes to rain, so that is good news as we head through Friday evening during the game. Again, all the activity really, again, is confined to areas just down to our south. So again, like I said, those rainfall chances keep trending later and later and later Friday night and then into the overnight hours. And our in-house model here, again, really doesn't have anything developing until we head into the day on Saturday. I think that might be a little bit too late. Again, I think we'll start to see some more activity by late Friday night into the overnight hours. But then it's going to be as we head Saturday and then through the day on Sunday that we see a good chunk of this activity. And like I said, I think between Saturday 5 p.m. through probably Sunday 5 p.m., we could see some pretty persistent precipitation across a good portion of the coverage area. So again, likely not going to rain the entire time, but I think it could rain a pretty good chunk of the time and across a pretty good percent coverage area of the state. So there is still a few questions we do have, though. This is the precipitation potential from the European model, and again, it has some fairly widespread heavy moisture through Sunday evening at 10 o'clock across much of the 10-11 coverage area into parts of northern Kansas, where, again, some areas could pick up several inches of moisture by the time it's all said and done. The American GFS model, though, keeps a lot of the heavy moisture just kind of down to the south a little bit, right along the Nebraska-Kansas border and then into parts of Kansas. So again, yesterday, both long-range American and GFS models, or American and Euro models, were in pretty good agreement, keeping a lot of that precipitation across the state. The European stayed the same. This American GFS model, though, has shifted just a little bit, some of that heavier precipitation down to our south. So still some questions on, again, the potential rainfall amounts when it's all said and done. But again, the potential is there for some pretty heavy moisture across a good chunk of the coverage area. Severe weather outlook for the day today, marginal and slight risk along that boundary with that low, again, stretching from parts of Wisconsin, Minnesota, down through Iowa into parts of eastern Kansas. Again, there is a marginal risk across extreme eastern Nebraska. So like I mentioned, I can't rule out maybe an isolated strong to severe storm. Areas like Omaha, Nebraska, Falls City included in that marginal risk for severe weather for the day today. For the day tomorrow, again, there's just that general thunderstorm outlook. No severe weather expected for our area, but again, can't rule out a few isolated thunderstorms. Best chance for that would likely be late Friday night. And then again for the day on Saturday, while rain is expected, and again, maybe some rumbles of thunder, no severe weather necessarily expected across the area. So the 7-day precipitation potential, again, highest across, again, parts of eastern Nebraska, northern Missouri, southern Iowa. Again, we could see those areas in that more purpley, maroon color. Again, 2, 3, maybe 4 inches of rain over the course of the next week. A lot of that, again, going to be coming during that Saturday and Sunday time frame, though. A little bit less, though, as you head further to the north and further to the west. But again, generally speaking, across the entire state of Nebraska, I think around anywhere from half an inch, 3/4 of an inch to an inch and a half of moisture going to be possible as we head over the course of the next 7 days. Most of that, large majority of that, likely falling during that Saturday and Sunday time frame. As far as temperatures are concerned, highs today, again, not terrible across much of central and western Nebraska, but still above average, generally in the low to mid 80s. It's going to be the southeastern corner of the state that's going to see the hottest conditions today, generally in the low 90s, including 92 in Lincoln, 94 in Beatrice, 93 in Falls City. Low temperatures tonight, anywhere from the upper 40s to the upper 50s from west to east. Highs on Friday, again, going to be warm. Again, 93 in Lincoln, 90 in Grand Island, 87 in North Platte, so again, more above average conditions. Friday night into Saturday, we see those lows generally fall to the low to mid 60s for the eastern half of the state, 50s for the west. But then Saturday, again, clouds and rain arrive. We'll see temperatures cool back, low 70s to low 80s. But then as we head Saturday into Sunday, the really cool air begins to arrive. Sunday morning lows in the low 40s in the far west, mid 50s in the far east, including 56 in Lincoln, and then high temperatures Sunday afternoon for most of the state, likely going to be hanging out in the 50s. Right now we have 64 in Lincoln. That's probably too high. I would probably more likely go with something right around 60 degrees for Sunday in Lincoln. Again, mostly cloudy, rain through a good portion of the day, and again, some breezy winds as well. So again, it's going to be a pretty raw day, not a great day for any outdoor activities. And then from Sunday into next week, temperatures do rebound a little bit, but again, feeling much more fall-like. 70 on Monday, 72 on Tuesday, 76 by next Wednesday. Again, with some small chances for moisture there Monday and Tuesday. So, again, really it's the weekend we want to watch. Again, I think rain holds off for us on Friday until late. So I think we get the game in just fine. But, again, any weekend plans, Saturday and Sunday, you're going to want to check the forecast. Keep an eye on the radar as rain is definitely going to be a good bet for us here in Lincoln. 10-day forecast for select cities across the state. You can see by far and away the warmest conditions we're expecting over the next 10 days will come Thursday and Friday. Cooler than on Saturday, very cool on Sunday. Finally seeing some below average highs, again 50s and low 60s. A little bit warmer on Monday, and then pretty comfortable for the rest of the week next week and into next Saturday. So again, kind of getting a little bit of everything there as we head over the course of the next 10 days. 8 to 14-day temperature outlook does favor above average conditions. This takes us through September 26th through October 2nd. So we will eventually see things warm back up in that 8 to 14-day time frame, seeing some of those above average temperatures. And then the precipitation outlook also then favors below normal precipitation as well. So again, outside of this weekend, those rain chances do kind of shrivel up again as we head through the week next week, and then looking at the long range forecast as well. So again, we need the moisture, so hopefully we can kind of take advantage of whatever we can get this weekend and put a dent in those drought conditions, kind of put a pause on some of them, at least hopefully going to gain some ground back. But again, we'll keep an eye on it. So again, make sure you keep tuned keep tuned to the forecast as we head Friday and into the upcoming weekend, as it will be a busy forecast with those rain chances and cooler temperatures arriving. But appreciate everyone for tuning in and watching as always. Again, always keep it tuned to 1011 both on air and online for your latest forecast details, as well as your latest news and sports coverage as well. Appreciate everyone for tuning in and watching. Until next time, hope everyone has a nice Thursday.